Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro because, yeah, a bunch of consoles have now officially leaked. It seems like a bunch of distributors got shipped them very, very early, and we've seen unboxings. In fact, I reacted to an unboxing yesterday, but people are hooking those bad boys up and playing games. And they've discovered what is essentially a completely hidden feature, an ability to upgrade PlayStation 4 games when you play them on the PS5 Pro. And people are a bit confused, but let's talk about how this works and why it's a bit hit or miss. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So this is coming from a bunch of different threads on ResetEra, and people have been leaking stuff via Discord. Essentially, people have decided to hook up, to connect to the internet, and do some updates with the PlayStation 5 Pro, and they're discovering these little extra things like this. Enhance the image quality for PS4 games. Now, it says here, you can improve the image quality of PS4 games to enjoy higher quality gameplay for some games. Turn this off if you experience any unexpected behavior during your gameplay. Now, people are going, okay, how does this work? What does this actually mean? Now, we're going to take a look at some side-by-side comparisons, but the biggest thing that people are kind of thinking about is, how does this work? Now, the first thing I just want to throw out, from the games that have been tested thus far, it does not improve frame rate. Or if it does, people have not discovered stuff that boosts frame rate yet, which I must admit, that's what I would want most. I love higher frame rate is always better. Anything over 60 is fine, but I think stuff when it manages to get into the hundreds, I think it makes a much smoother experience, especially with something like Dark Souls, or in this case, Bloodborne. It would be nice if you could have it even more upped, but this is the game people plugged in first to see how much better it actually looks. Now, I do want to be clear, a lot of people are fixating on that part where it says, why does the text just say some games instead of all games? This is because of an ancient lawsuit. It's basically that if you say this improves all games, literally, people will pixel test it and stuff. You don't want to get sued for false advertisement. So even when it comes to the original PlayStation 2, they had that texture filtering option. If you put PS1 games into a PS2, it would actually make them look ever so slightly better, and a lot of times cut down on some of the load times and stuff. But it didn't affect all of them because some of them are just not able to be upgraded, right? Even with the Xbox, even with PC, there's stuff that breaks. Well, this thing here is very interesting. So here's like an example of it. It seems like what's happening is one of the aspects of the PlayStation 5 Pro is a new engine of AI upscaling, an AI engine that actually makes extra frames, it makes stuff extra crisp. And what this essentially does is where you can get lower quality aspects and bump them up to 4K in a way that doesn't break the engine or hurt the frame rate. It just ups the image quality. And when you look at it, this side-by-side comparison, it's not going to completely blow your mind. It's not going to suddenly make, PlayStation 4 games look like PlayStation 5 games, but they do look better. All right, I do want to look at this meme real quick because it is very funny. People are making fun of the old classic, oh, look how much it's upgraded. Looking at the game on versus base PS5 versus PS5 Pro, it's not that substantial, but I do want to take a look at side-by-side comparison. So I have a side-by-side comparison, and then we're going to take a look at this special filter that lets me do that. Okay, but first let's start with this. So this is with PS4 enhancements off and PS4 enhancements on. Certain details, the finest details of this, I think are noticeably better. I think the backgrounds, the environments, the fire, this stuff in my mind looks utterly identical. Even if this happens to somehow be higher resolution, it's not in any noticeable difference. Where it really comes down to it, though, is in certain aspects of like the grain on this scarf, the whole headgear and stuff. I do think this stuff actually looks better. Let me do this side by side, though. So ignore the fog. This was taken from a PlayStation 5. They created a save file that came back to the exact same spot. Then they put it in a PS5 Pro. The point of this is not to show the difference in weather effects, because that's just definitely a breeze blew through here. It's to show the fact that definitely, when you look at some stuff, it does actually improve everything a little bit. Even this stuff, when you kind of wiggle it back and forth here, it does look a little tiny bit crisper. It's definitely most substantial on the character model itself, though, right? A lot of people are kind of interested in this, though, because Sony themselves didn't really talk about this. They basically said that this is the kind of thing where, like, in the original blog post, I'm going to go to page 1 of this forum here. This is ResetEra. Oh, yeah, I am on page 1. There was, like, one line where they talked about the fact that they were going to put these upgrades in, but we didn't really know what it meant. It just said, like, some upgrades to PlayStation 4 games will be seeable. Older games will get a boost. I think the reason this is cool to me isn't that it's so game breaking. It's not that it's going to instant next gen patch. I think I'm always fascinated by any console where you can take a game you already own, you already love, like Dishonored on PlayStation 4. God, I love this game so much. Pop it into the PS5 and it looks and plays better. Now, for some reason, I've seen some Sony people being like, Xbox can't do that. It does. The Xbox Series X has been doing this since launch. I think I bag on Xbox a lot just because I feel like they don't have games, but the hardware of the Xbox itself is good. I don't know why people bag on the Xbox Series X. Like, yeah, it's a little bit underpowered in some aspects, but it does upgrade older games. It boosts the quality, the resolution, and the frame rate of a lot of old games. There's some old Xbox games that run at 100 FPS, 120 FPS on the Series X. I want to see that with the Pro. I want to see that with the PS5. The two questions I keep seeing everybody ask, which I think are both very valid, is first, I've seen people saying, why doesn't this work on the base PS5? And I think that's a very valid thing, because that legitimately doesn't fully make sense. Like, so you have the technology to upgrade games, you've got the gumption, you've got the AI tech. What is it inside a PS5 Pro that's so much better than the base PS5? Like, I'm not even mad. I'm just saying I wish they would explain it a bit better, or at least give us a master list as to which games actually do get improved. They did do that with the PS5. When the PS5 came out, they had a list of games like Days Gone, Horizon, and stuff that actually auto-boosted up to 60 FPS. I kind of wish they'd come out and say, hey, here is the main, like, top 100 most played PS4 games that now you can play on the PS5 Pro, and they get better. The other part of this, though, is I do kind of just want to know what's up with this. Where is the consistency of it, and how substantial will this actually be? I want to see this. I've talked a lot about this, especially in the last year, but I want to see more backwards compatibility. We're starting to see, and there are some leaks and rumors about the fact that Sony is working on new emulators for the PlayStation 5, meaning that we've started to see a new style of PlayStation 2 games that have trophy support and rewind features and save states on the PS5. That's good. We're starting to see better emulators for the PS1. That's good. There's talks that they're going to do some sort of PlayStation 3 emulator. So PlayStation 3 games will actually play natively on the PS5. I want to know if the Pro will boost that, if the base PS5 will boost that. I want to get the absolute most power out of these systems. I do have a strong feeling that the PlayStation 5 is going to be around for at least another 4 or 5 years. So I want to get the most games, the biggest catalog, and the biggest back catalog we can. I have hundreds and hundreds of PS4 games, and if this even boosts it a little bit, if the AI manages to make the images even slightly better, to me, that is pretty cool. This is a new age of tech, and I'm definitely open-minded to see what this actually improves on old stuff in the long run, right? Especially because it's automatic. But what do you guys think about this? Does this actually seem substantial, or is this just a toothpick meme to you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.